Hello, everybody. Welcome to the vlog today. It's Trey Booth and myself. Bobby and Greg are out in a client meeting this morning, but wanted me to pass along to you. They'd be delighted to hear from you at any time this week. Busy week this week domestically, primarily. And Trey, you want to talk about that some?
Yeah, it's interesting that, on Friday night, I would have probably said that this week is going to be heavily globally focused with the attacks on Syria. But with those being very quick and according to reports, relatively successful to the point where that seems to be in the past now.
It does.
It quickly came up and went away, which allows this week to be really domestically focused, which is great because there's a lot of data coming out this week. Several high points I want to focus on is retail sales, which comes out every month. But this month is a little more interesting that people are watching it because of the fact that the tax reform bill that passed late last year should be impacting people's paychecks at this point. So it'll be interesting to see, and that you can use this data to see, are people spending those savings, saving them, paying down debt. It's still very early, but you got to look at these kind of markers to see how things are doing and kind of project out expectations of spending and consumer activity.
See if it translates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So while it's a monthly data point, this one's a little more important. Also, the Fed's beige book will come out, which also allows the Federal Reserve board members to speak a lot, which always causes news, whether or not, because who knows what they're going to say at this point. But you get to see what they're thinking and what they see economically, so that's always very important. And then the events we've been talking about for months, I feel like, is earnings are coming in very well. Last week we had very strong earnings, and this week we see a slew of companies reporting, which will be factual data for us to kind of look forward to as we see the market hopefully rising on good information. Good retail sales would be great, good earnings would be great, and the Fed kind of sitting back as things we're watching. So that's kind of the information this week that'll really impact the markets and our clients' money. And so it's really important domestic week as we ignore what happened internationally, hopefully.
Right.
And then on top of that, I know there's manufacturing data that you really dug into.
Yeah,
and I
very
thought that was interesting stuff that I had never heard before. So, how about you talk
And
about that?
also, we'll sort of talk about manufacturing. One thing that goes into that, when you mentioned the beige book, the interesting thing about that is the Fed is looking at all 12 economic districts. So it's a picture of the entire country. So that's one thing we're focused on, manufacturing included, and Trey's right. One of the things we always told you that we would do is bring items up to you that maybe you have not seen, not focused on with some of the other information going on, like the international. One we want to highlight to you last week is that Trump continues the red ink pen getting rid of regulations. And we feel like that can still have a good bleed over effect in the economy. The one last week concerned the EPA and ambient air quality standards. And what that means is that really goes towards manufacturing. The EPA basically has ambient air quality standards across the United States where manufacturers locate, they have to comply with. Well, the problem that we've had with the EPA is that permitting process has been so long, and what you're subject to has been so up in the air, pardon the pun, that basically it's been very difficult for manufacturers to deploy capital. If they think 3 years from now they're going to have such a squeeze down on the EPA on ambient air quality standards, what you don't want to do? You don't want to commit to the new plant right now. So basically last week, a good bit of that was not, you don't do away with it because basically we need that. You just make it more logical, tighter, under control in the permitting process, and you can tell the manufacturers are already very excited about that.
That's what we're seeing. We're seeing expectation for manufacturer optimism going forward being very positive. So it's not taking away regulations, not taking away protections to air quality. It's just streamlining it, making it quicker.
And making the playing field such where you're trying to make a decision on capital, you can make that decision when you need to get the return back.
It's all about speed at this point.
It is. It is. Well, we hope that you have a wonderful week. Feel free to get in touch with us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, call us. We always enjoy hearing from you. We appreciate how much we do, and we hope you have a great week.